In a village nestled on a plain, vibrant with orchids and irises, lived a girl of remarkable beauty. Tall and graceful as a cypress tree, her smile revealed teeth like pearls. Her long, wavy hair was a living thing, dancing with every breeze, and the blush on her cheeks outshone the most radiant flowers. She was not just beautiful, but fierce and full of life. Her friends were the creatures of the plain, a nimble squirrel, a delicate butterfly, and a gentle deer, all of whom knew her soft caress. But don't mistake her gentleness for weakness. She was a master of martial arts, her bow and arrow always at her side, not just for play, but for the hunt. On horseback, she was a force of nature, brave, daring, and unmatched. She loved galloping through the meadows, picking flowers, and soaking in the freedom of the moment. It seemed there was nothing in the world she feared. A delicate crown of purple rubies rested on her head, amplifying her natural beauty. Her long frilled dress, made of shimmering pink satin, caught the sunlight, making her shine like a star descended to earth. She lived in a world of beauty and strength, blissfully unaware of the destiny that was galloping towards her. She knew nothing of the Prince of the Red Castle, of his power, or of the day he would change her life forever. Deep within a forest of purple irises stood the Red Castle, a fortress of might and majesty. Its ruler was a prince as handsome as he was wise, tall, strong, and noble. He had only recently been crowned king, his authority now extending over all the known world. His gaze was sharp, his heart was just, and his power was absolute. The castle itself was a legend, whispered about in faraway villages, a symbol of his dominion. One sun-drenched afternoon, as our brave girl walked through the forest, a basket of freshly picked apples swinging by her side, her world collided with his. The prince, on a royal procession, appeared before her as if from a dream. She, ever defiant, saw not a prince, but a challenge. A brief, spirited battle erupted between them, her wild, untamed skill against his disciplined, royal might. But even her incredible spirit was no match for the ruler of the world. In a whirlwind of strength and authority, the Prince of the Red Castle captured her. He swept her away from her fields of orchids and irises and took her to his legendary home. And what a home it was! The castle was far more magnificent than any story she had ever heard. It was a city unto itself, with 10 grand gates, each attended by loyal servants and moon-faced maidens whose beauty rivaled the stars. The castle walls, inlaid with precious stones, shimmered under the moonlight, creating a spectacle of breathtaking splendor. The prince himself was a vision. He wore a crown not of rubies, but of brilliant diamonds that captured and scattered the light. And his presence filled every room with an undeniable power. Yet, for the girl, this opulence was a cage, however gilded. Surrounded by unparalleled luxury, she wept. Restless and heartbroken, she could only feel the sting of her captivity. The castle was a marvel, a paradox of stone and nature. Its walls seemed to be woven from living flowers and the iridescent wings of butterflies. Just beyond its perimeter, under the shade of ancient pine trees, two wild swans glided gracefully across a crystal-clear pond. Every detail was designed for beauty and peace. Yet, in her royal chamber, a room fit for a queen, the girl found no comfort. She would sit before a grand ornate mirror, brushing her long wavy hair, and sigh with a deep, profound regret. The golden brush in her hand felt heavier than any weapon she had ever wielded. The face staring back at her was a prisoner's. Every luxury, every comfort was just another bar on her cage. The thought of escape became her constant companion, a burning ember in her heart that refused to be extinguished. By the king's order, his finest servants were tasked with creating a wardrobe befitting her beauty. They brought silks and velvets, threads of gold and silver. They meticulously sewed a gown of unparalleled magnificence, a dress meant to celebrate her place in the castle. But when they presented it to her, she, in a fit of defiant rage, tore the delicate fabric to shreds. She was furious, a storm of anger and pride trapped within stone walls. Yet she was powerless before the ruler's might. Her strong, untamed spirit refused to accept captivity, even as her body was confined. A part of the castle was an architectural wonder, constructed entirely of glass, offering panoramic views of the forest and the sky. One night, unable to sleep, the girl wandered aimlessly down a long, echoing hallway. The moonlight streamed through the glass walls, painting the marble floors in silver. Lost in her sorrowful thoughts, she didn't hear the soft footsteps behind her. Suddenly, the prince was there. He appeared out of the shadows like a phantom, his eyes reflecting the moonlight. Before she could react, she found herself enveloped in his strong arms. It happened so fast, she could scarcely believe it was real. She looked up and saw the handsome young prince smiling down at her, a gentle, knowing smile that held no malice, only a strange tenderness. Panic seized her, a deep blush flooded her cheeks, and her heart began to hammer against her ribs like a trapped bird. She was frightened, not of his strength, but of the strange feeling he ignited within her. Instinct took over. She twisted out of his embrace and ran. She was running from him, running from the castle, running from a fate she didn't understand. But as she fled, she felt the ghost of his lips on her cheek a burning, fleeting kiss that sent a shiver through her entire being. Her breath came in ragged gasps. She didn't stop until she reached the heavy doors of her chamber, slamming them shut behind her as if to keep destiny itself at bay. Safe in her room, she leaned against the door, her body trembling, waiting for her world to stop spinning. That night, the heavens opened up and it began to rain. The steady, beautiful rhythm of the raindrops against the glass was a balm to her soul, a soothing melody that seemed to wash over the raw wound of her captivity. As the rain fell, she sat by the window, pondering her fate. She was a prisoner, yes, but what did that kiss mean? It was a contradiction, an act of gentleness from her mighty captor. She went to her basin and washed her face again and again, trying to scrub away the sensation, the memory. But it was no use. She realized the prince's kiss had not truly landed on her cheek, but on her heart. It had touched a place deep inside her she didn't know existed, like a permanent seal upon a priceless canvas. It was a mark that could never be erased. Her fight for freedom was now a war on two fronts, one against the castle walls, and another against the feelings blossoming within her own heart. Thank you so much for joining me for this story. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more tales of romance and adventure. We'll see you next time.